What it do, DBSM? Eddie St. Hilaire here with my boy Andrew Dovale. Finished from Swiss. We're playing Top Cut tomorrow, but we're going to give you a sneak peek at his deck profile. So without further ado, I'll let you get into it, Andrew.
Alright, guys, so I think I finished 6th. I played Gotenks. Yeah. I only had one loss. I had some unfortunate draws, I think, in a decent matchup.
What'd you lose to?
Vajex.
Vajex?
Lost to Vajex.
What'd you lose to?
2-1. Vajex.
What'd you lose to?
Oh,
go.
So I think Gotenks is one of the better decks against Vajex. It's not like 100% or anything, and you know the die roll and sort of thing. So you gotta see a lot of things, but if you do see them, you're pretty good. And the deck draws a lot of cards. So basically, the way this leader, why he's strong, there's a few things. You draw when you attack. You awaken at 6 life, which is kind of a super good anti-aggro stall. It allows you to grind a lot of games because people can't kill you easily. Backside. Again, your opponent's leader can attack your battle cards, which is kind of nice. You can pay a green, and you can either pitch a card to make ghosts, or you can remove a marker from a unison. So he has a lot of utility and versatility.
How many times did you make tokens today? A lot or not really? A lot?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Every time you don't have the 6-drop, that's the other reason why this leader is good, because that's your pressure. You could just keep making ghosts and force them to answer the ghosts. Alright, so going into like the main package here, which is the fusion package. Play 4 of this card because it's busted. Basically, this one card searches out the entire chain, the entire combo. So for the first time you play, it searches out the Gotenks. The second time, well, you don't play it, but you pay a green, sacrifice it, and then you show the card, and you get 2 pieces from the deck. So basically, for 2 mana, you draw 3 cards, and you set up your combo. So it's insane because if you have your unison out and you have this card, like you pay 1 on 4 energy, you pay 1, search the guy, pay the other 2, grab the other 2 fusion pieces, and then fuse the guy and draw another 3 cards and KO something. So basically, off of 1 card, you filled your whole hand up again. It's kind of insane. So the fusion pieces that we played here were 4 and 4. I wouldn't change this. It's possible you could play 1 T piece on Goten over one of these, but that's about it, just to have that option.
If you said 1, I don't think it's worth it.
No, yeah, one, because you could tutor it with this one, and you can find it, and then you can add it back as like a value card. You don't really need it though. Honestly, this 4/4 is just fine too. This one's super important because this one is the best one turn 1, because you don't have to crit a life. This one forces you to crit a life to play it, to search for the unison. But basically, this one you can pitch it to find this one, and then you bounce this one back to the hand, and you look at the top 5 for a Gotenks or a unison. So that's a turn 1 play, and that's why this one's so good. Also, when you fusion with it, it looks at the top 5 or 7, sorry, for a unison. So the deck just pluses like insanely. That's kind of the point of the deck. You just keep drawing cards. So then the big boss monster, the reason why the deck is good is this guy. He's basically the pressure that wins you the game, because you have a lot of defense and you basically just rely on this guy to win you the game. He kills something, he draws you cards, and he's dual attack and he has deflect. I mean, almost nobody deals with this profitably, and it just wins you most games.
Don't do it. I learned my lesson. You kill it, it's coming back next turn. Don't do it.
Exactly.
Just
like,
don't do it.
Because if you have all you have is just a copy of this in your hand, and they kill the one on board. Now you have the material to fuse it again. So it's really annoying for your opponent to deal with. You play 2 of this one, just in case. Sometimes you do the EX evolve over the 6 to fix your numbers, because you go 5/5/2 for Celzino, and he has a pretty good effect. If your opponent has something that's barrier, you need to get rid of it, you can get rid of it. If not, you can you can remove markers from your opponent's unisons as well. And he's a double striker, he's 30k. So it's good to have 2 copies of it in case you run out of these. You can go into these, so you never run out of fuel. Basically, you play 4 of this because it's the best unison for the deck. You get the effect to draw a card every time you union, which adds to the value of the deck. +2, you give revenge. You play a lot of blockers in this deck, the Zarbon being the main one. So giving Zarbon Revenge is just pretty gross, and it plus 2s. So it starts at 2, goes to 4, goes to 6, and before you know it, it ultimates. And the ultimate, basically, you look like it's a game because you look at their life, you take a card from their life and place it in the drop, and they have to drop 3 cards. It's just too brutal for them to live. So yeah, this card's busted. It's another reason why the deck is insane because it's so hard to get rid of.
And then I play 2 of this other unison because I'm retarded.
And then we play 2 of this unison. In case we miss on this one, in case you miss on this unison, you have this one. Because you need a unison on, like, all of your cards work with a unison. So if you don't have a unison, you kind of get screwed. None of the other 2-mana ones are good enough in the deck, but this one's pretty nice in the mirror. And it could also, like blue matchups, any type of grinding matchup is pretty good because it just keeps forcing them to discard cards. So you draw a lot of cards with your deck, and if you can just force your opponent to trade for you on a 1-for-1 basis, it's really good. And then you swing for 20k double, and it's also impossible to kill because it's a 20k that pluses 2. Once you get it high enough on markers, you don't even have to do the +2. You can just use it to +0 and keep killing their unisons. So you get a lot of value out of this guy. And if they ever try to like remove markers with skills on it, then they have to drop a card. So he's really, really good in that sense. Here is Dormant. I mean, it's just the most busted defensive card in the game. There's nothing stronger. This combined with a blocker is just too good. This is the reason why green is in the meta now. So definitely this Dormant's busted. I don't know. Frieza, the counterplay. He's just good in every matchup, literally across the board. In the mirror, it hits the fusion. Against Vijayks, it hits their 6-drops or their 4-drop Massaians. Basically, every matchup, this card's gonna be good. You basically never set this guy out. So he's one of the best counterplays in the game right now. You have the Zamasu that goes with it. It's kind of the mirror breaker more than anything else. A lot of decks can deal with it, some of them can't. It's also good against blue if you can get it out. Yeah, it's just a good card. And then the Celzino. Celzino is basically just the best secret rare for this deck because you can do 2 6s, you can do 5+5+2. It's just super easy to get him out. So there's no reason not to play him. He's the best He's the best secret rare by far for the deck. No questions asked. He wins you games that you're not supposed to win. So you play that guy. No ways. Then moving on to the graveyard package here. For the graveyard package, you play 3 Roshi, 3 Ribrianne, and 2 Zarbon.
How often did you actually use Ribrianne?
Yeah, she's a good finisher. Honestly, she could be a 2-of. But there's some grindy matchups where you want to maybe activate 3, but most of the time you just need 2. You can get the job done with that. I only ever use 2 in one game, so for whatever that's worth. You can leave it at 2. This one is more important though. This one you
go up to 4?
Yeah, you could probably play this one at 4, but not even. But you could just put like instead of like 3 of her, you can put maybe 1 draw monkey or something, just so you have a different option. Would be interesting. But this is fine too. It really doesn't matter as long as you have at least 3 of this, because this one you might activate. You might literally need to activate this three times in a game. So he's the most important one for sure. Zarbon, you play. He's important as well, but you play 2 because generally the first one that you see in a lot of matchups, it's just going to be the only one that you ever keep playing. You
only play 2 because you had to, or you only play 2 because that's the right number?
Well, there's a super we play the Jiro super combo that tutors it from the deck, so there's basically 4 copies.
Okay.
Right, and you always Jiro for this guy unless you have it in your
What's his name?
Jiro.
Who?
Dr. Jiro,
whatever. Who gives a shit? All right.
That's what his name is.
So basically, I would play it at a higher number if it wasn't for the matchup. Like for example, in the mirror, like you don't ever need more than one, really. You're just going to play the one over and over again. It's completely excessive to play the other ones. It doesn't make any sense. All right, sure. You have the Shocking Deathball. Shocking Deathball is just a really solid negate. You awaken at 6 life, so you really want a Sparking Negate to help yourself awaken sometimes. And it basically goes really well with Dormant and closing out your opponent's turn without them being able to kill you. You play a 2-2 split of the Paragus and Giroux. Yeah, I think it's the best split because this one in the early game is just way too good, defending critical, double strike criticals, and then setting up your drop area with your Roshis or your Zarbons or whatever you need for your defensive package. And then Paragus later on is just good just to help you dig through your deck and find what you need and defend better. So this, I think, is the correct split for the deck. And yeah, it worked super well for me. I had these in the early game and it felt amazing, and I had these in the late game and it felt great. So I would keep it as is. This guy really put in work. Tutoring up Zarbon is one of the most important things for this deck. And then finally for the sideboard, we have the Dorias.
Whoa, talking about this guy.
So since you always have a Unison in play with this deck, this guy, he counters everything that's a problem for you, that in the blue and red colors specifically. So your Topos, your one-drop Trunkses, against Baby, their guys get reduced in cost, so it hits it as well. It hits the Servant guy, so it just hits everything in that regard. You could probably even play more if you wanted to. It's just been really, really good actually.
Is this essentially this? No, that's not that. That's like, it's freaking what's that extra card, a blue extra card.
Yeah, so there's a big difference between these two. Yeah, the biggest difference is this one attacks the hand, but it still lets them play it. This one forces their energy. So they, like, for example, like you're playing against a deck like Bulma that has infinite cards in hand or something. You'd rather them just tap the energy but not get the effect, right? Because then they can't do another one. Whereas this is like really good against like a rival decks, and just if they're low on hand and they're just trying to play a short game with you. So it's good to have both options. Sometimes they do the same thing. Sometimes one is better than the other. So just a 2-2 split, just so you can bring it in those matchups. Honestly, you really only need this card for the 6-drop that you can't kill, the Gogeta, because everything else you can deal with, but that guy can't be KO'd, so you got to play this just to warp it. It happens to be a negate, which is also pretty nice, but that's the main utility of this guy, just to warp that guy. The Sun Gohan, just a blocker. This one's really good in the aggro matchups because you can play it for free when you have the Unison out. Give it Revenge, and now you have your Dormant plus your blockers, and it's very hard for them to kill you at that point. It just allows you to wall up. Two Zamasus just for the mirror, just so you can never miss on it, because you want to get a Zamasu down as soon as possible, because it's indestructible. They can't deal with it, and it will eventually just rip the hand. Because if they dormant you, you get to swing with leader and with this guy, so you rip a card and you draw a card, and those you kind of, you get the most out of their dormant turns. Tuso Kamehameha.
You're welcome. Not that one. Sorry.
Not that one.
That one's bad.
This one's actually really, really good. So the reason why this one's really good is because a lot of times, so you dormant somebody, and then they don't like push super, or they try to push a little bit into the attack, and then this card gets them off guard, so they'll go to like 30, and then you just go this plus a 5k, and it's super huge for you because you get to then have Zarbon as the counter to the next attack, right? So this one, I like this one a lot for that reason. You can leave up the energy, and they always play into this. It's super huge. And then in the mirror, it's really good too for the same reason. It's on their dormant attack that you need to defend. If they're not going after your Unison, you can just go for this, and it's a lot of value. And the blue matchup is also really good to keep eating their hand, and because you have Roshi, you can just play 2 copies of this and keep recycling it in the really grindy matchups. When you need to go for game, you can just buy it back, and it pushes really, really well just to get their hand down to 0, and then you have a guaranteed like Celzino kill, etc. Or Fu Shrouded kill, which is The last boy.
So next card, last card is Andrew Spirit Andrew Spirit Warrior.
I can't never not play that card.
Man, that guy looks like you.
It does look like you. Look at this guy.
I gotta start carrying on a stick.
Go ahead. Why do you play this guy?
I mean, mostly for the mirror. If you get to turn 6, it just basically ends the game because they can't win the game next turn. Even if they survive, they can't win the game next turn. But it basically turns off dormant, turns off everything. They can't respond to this guy, so it just ends up winning the game. And then there's other matchups that I'm sure that I will come across that are super grindy and you get to 6 energy. But the main one is the reason why this card is I always play this card is because every time you get into like a mid-range grind battle, this guy's always like the ultimate trump card. Yeah, so you just bring this guy just for okay, this is a grindy matchup. I'm the one who has this guy. Do you have him? No, you don't? All right, I'm gonna drop this guy and win the game because he's just too much value. Even if he doesn't win on that turn, he's gonna allow you to win next turn. So yeah, that's it. That's the deck. It's worked really, really nice. Pretty happy with it. I don't think I would make any changes right now, but it's hopefully we can get a good performance tomorrow in the top
cut. Yeah. Stay tuned. Congrats. You got your invite to the Invitationals coming up in 2021. So hope to see you guys there, man.
All right. Peace out.